I'm Stuart Leslie, the director of Kangaroo Valley Folk Festival, and I'm here with Sally Leslie, who's the secretary and, among other things. We're going to share our 5 minutes today. I hope I get the mic back after Sally takes over. Anyway, Kangaroo Valley is on 3 days in the third weekend in October every year. Has been since 2006. It's a relatively small festival. We have about 6,000 people on site over the 3 days, cumulative. So about half of those are ticket holders, the other half are performers, volunteers, etc. We're totally volunteer run. We have about 120 volunteers. We just settled down to a pretty consistent group that we can rely on. A lot of locals. Our venues, it's mainly in the Kangaroo Valley Showground. So we use the venues in the showground, which is the pavilion and the hall. We put up 3 marquees, and we also use the local Catholic church, a historic church, for intimate acoustic venue. We like to think we're a family-friendly festival, warm and inviting. Everyone always seems very happy when they're there. We have a great session bar, which is luckily there as part of the showground already, and which has a great view over the escarpment of Kangaroo Valley. So that's always a big success, and also raises some money for us. Our mission, I guess I would say, to embrace local and overseas acts. We like to have a lot of Australian traditional stuff. Lots of join-in things as well, poetry, dancing, music workshops. We have increasing local Indigenous contribution. We have a dedicated Koori camp, which our local community runs on their own, which is great. We have lots of bigger bands. We like big bands. We have smaller acts as well, but we tend to go for the big band if that's an option, and a variety of all kinds of acoustic music. I'll hand over to Sally for...
So, achievements and challenges. As Stuart said, the festival started in 2006. And the first 3 years were adversely affected by poor weather, and the original directors by that time had kind of lost interest, and that's when Stuart said, I think we could make a go of it. So really, I think the success of the festival now, and it is very successful, really harks back to the first year when Stuart put in an awful lot of work, was absolutely driven, because it was exciting and interesting and fun. And there was a bit of festival infrastructure there to build upon, because otherwise we wouldn't have known what to do to start. So, you know, the original directors did some good work there. We started by changing the date, moving the festival date to a time when we had better weather, and then worked to build community support for the festival, because there was a bit of antagonism in the local community for various reasons. That took quite a few years to work through, working with the council and with locals who now, thankfully, see the festival for the fun it is and the financial benefit it brings to the whole area. In the first few years, we also used the more meagre profits to repay the personal financial losses for the first directors, and that was really good to do, and also to catch up with performers who had missed out on payment the first few years. So we tend to forget that there was a lot of hard work in the first couple of years. And one tagline we tend to say, the festival kind of runs itself. And it feels like it does these days, but I think because of the work we put in the early years. It's self-sustaining. We don't rely on any grants, mainly because we can't be bothered applying for them. We did originally, and it was just hell, and we couldn't get anyone who wanted to do it. And a few times we got knocked back and we thought, bugger this, we're just not going to do it. So, luckily now it's self-sustaining, and we feel that we can pay our performers really well. We have a competent team of mostly local volunteers who have assumed roles and swing into action each year. It took a few years to get them all on board, but working well now.
Placed in the national context, that's pretty easy. We feel that we're fairly well known now on the festival circuit. most of our people, most of our attendees come, from around the place. Not that many locals. We're constantly trying to get more locals, but we do have a hardcore of folkies who come every year. And we like to think we're popular with performers. We get lots of applications. Yeah. And the punters. And 4 to 5 years' time, well, like everyone, we're getting older. We have only a couple of younger people on our committee who haven't put their hand up yet to take over. We're moving to Tasmania, so we're not quite sure what's going to happen in the future, but hopefully it'll keep going. There are restraints on accommodation and the festival site, so I don't really see it getting much bigger on the current site. Yeah, that's right. That's about it. Thank you.